Welcome to the news. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's get started. First up, as you may have seen around the traps, the Esports World Cup held in Riyadh is currently underway. Featuring some of the biggest powerhouses in League of Legends, such as BLG, Top Esports, and T1, this event itself has been pretty refreshing to say the least. In fact, minor spoiler alert if you've actually been keeping up, T1 and Top Esports face off in the final depending on where you're watching from later today. While this itself is a pretty cool event, I thought one of the most interesting features was its trophy. But how exciting can a trophy be, you ask? Check this out.
The Esports World Cup is a unique tournament and will have a very unique trophy system, consisting of keys, game trophies, the club championship trophy, and the totem. Introducing the key. This symbolizes a participant's right to compete in Riyadh. Each team or player will receive a personalized key consisting of the inner key and the outer frame. Winning a competition earns you a game trophy. A champion's key will be inserted inside. The frame will be placed into the totem. A physical block on display in Riyadh, serving as a progress bar of the Esports World Cup. The totem will remain in Riyadh as a chronicle of the Esports World Cup history. Those who get eliminated throughout the competition must give up their keys and see them crushed. Their broken keys will be tossed into the totem and encased in resin, symbolizing those that tried to win but fell short. However, as an additional privilege for winning, each game's champion gets to select 3 opponents' keys to be encased in the base of their trophy as an additional, more personal prize. Losers will go home with their keys replaced with a token that marks where they ended their journey. Witness history unfold at the Esports World Cup.
I kind of love this trophy model. It definitely brings a more symbolic and meaningful aspect to actually winning an event. Very, very cool. And I'm sure this one won't be damaged like the Riot Games one they gave to Faker. But I can't escape how bad it would feel to have a rival player winning an event and taking your key to put in the bottom of his trophy. That's like the ultimate BM, but also so good at the same time. Let me know your thoughts on the Top Esports T1 Clash and also the trophy system in the comments below. And while you're on your way down there, consider dropping a sub if you enjoy this style of League news content. So for those that don't know, new metas are formed through typically unconventional gameplay ideas, and these can often be pretty powerful, although sometimes definitely break the mold of how the game is seemingly meant to be played. Think in the realm of lane swaps, double jungle, funnel, things like that. Well, this next clip, explained by Kadril of one of the VCS teams, is definitely one of the most interesting strategies I've ever seen, and definitely thought it was worth sharing. Let's have a look.
So, Nila leads in AD mid. Nila gets bonus XP to her ally, right? VKE invade their jungle. Look where Lee Sin and Nyla are. The minions spawn. Level 1, they proxy both waves, mid and top, and they funnel them together while their team covers them. They get enough. They flashed over, by the way. They get enough from this that they both level up and proxy the wave. Then they can fight them in their base, level 2 to level 1. And while they're fighting them, these waves are bleeding. So they gave over 2 kills, but they're too far away to get the first wave. So they're up in XP. Then they lane swap the Jack spot already. What in the fuck is this strat?
Yeah, not sure if they're cooking or what. This is some Baus type shit. Up next, the Riot Games HQ has been spotted in a promo for Kesha's new song. And not that Kesha. Featured in the background of these photos is the confirmed Riot Games HQ, but of course with the logo photoshopped out. This was pointed out on Twitter by a few people, specifically Dragless, who is a writer himself, or Draggles, I don't know. Now, just before we jump into the main topic of today, a quick word from our sponsor, 365 Games. Does the idea of winning up to $15,000 a month playing League of Legends sound good to you? Enter today's sponsor, 365games.net. We've all heard of those sites that give you rewards for playing games, but none do it quite like the brand new 365 Games. No mucking around here, they only deal in cash prizes. To get started, connect your League of Legends account under one of their tiers, Premium or Elite. Depending on what tier you sign up for, you'll take home a share of the total prize pool that is allocated to the top 150 members of the 365 Games leaderboard every month. And when I say dollars, I mean dollars. Cash prizes only. Oh, and one other very important thing. With 365, you can't lose. Even if you don't win something one month, the points you accumulated will roll over to the next month until you do win something. The platform is meant to be for everyone and to give everyone a chance to win. To see what this is all about, you already know there's a link to 365 Games Net in the description for you guys. Good luck. So as time has progressed within the lifespan of League and changes to the game's systems have been made, some of Riot's matchmaking algorithms have taken a hit as a consequence, specifically the red and blue side player allocations. For those that are unaware, red side team has always been given the slightly higher MMR average of players to compensate for being on the structurally inferior side of the map with slightly worse camera angles. And by this, I mean red side has slightly worse access to certain vision pockets and Baron Pit, one of the key factors in deciding the outcome of most games. Historically, this was the case, but over time, as players just developed and got better at playing under the red side camera disadvantages and Summoner's Rift actually got changed in Season 14 to be more symmetrical, the map advantages that blue side once had have been progressively phased out. This was also due to other objectives getting buffs to detract from Baron impact, such as Dragon Soul and Tier 2 Gold. So with all this subsequently evening out the discrepancies between red and blue side, red side still retained the higher player MMR average, meaning red side consequently just wins a lot more games now. In fact, according to this post from 6vxy on Reddit, red side wins around 6% more games according to League of Graphs in Master Tier and above, which is staggering. The author also points out Master Plus tiers because there is a few other high elo specific problems that go along with the algorithm issues. One of these being high elo matchmaking, where they point out that due to the smaller pool of players, it's more likely a high challenger player will get paired against a Grandmaster player simply due to the smaller amount of players for the algorithm to pull from. On paper, this mightn't sound that bad, a Grandmaster versus a challenger. But the difference between a 300 LP Grandmaster player and a 900 LP Challenger player is huge. And another equally as important point the author touches on is counterpicking. In the past, we've had meta-breaking picks that, if they weren't banned, would 100% of the time get picked just because of how broken they were, which was an advantage blue side had with first pick. But as the game evened out in terms of balance, with there usually being between 5 to 10 S tier or priority picks nowadays, the advantage has fallen to red side having counterpick. As the general skill of players has gone up, the strength of a counterpick gets stronger and stronger as players learn matchups, and because there are more priority picks, it's not the biggest deal if blue side gets one of them because red side will get two straight after. And there's also one other increasingly prevalent issue with counterpick that ties into the red side high elo placement. At the very top of Challenger, it's more likely that a top 10 player will be put on red side, giving you an automatic counterpick. So if you're a top laner, you're almost guaranteed a favorable matchup. In fact, here's a table that 6vxy made from the post. As we can see, NA's current rank 1 Surdy, who is a 2000 LP top laner, has been on red side 19 of his last 20 games, which is just crazy. And it barely gets better. Going down the table, there are 137 red side placements and only 63 blue side placements for the top 10 challengers. With these staggering statistics, I decided to dig a little deeper and ask Rank 1 Surdy, an old friend of mine from the Oceanic server, what he thought of this, and he agreed it was a rich gets richer situation for him and the other top 10 players specifically. So there you go. All you need to be a 2000 LP player is to just be 2000 LP and get counterpick every game. But in all seriousness, I actually interviewed Surdy after this chat, like a full half-an-hour interview as well, and I asked him about his solo queue secrets. You'll see that video very soon in the coming days, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Anyway, with all that, we already have a response from lead gameplay writer Froxon, acknowledging everything I just covered. In his tweet here, he says Riot is well aware and are working on a balancing fix, but it's pretty complex and is isolated to just Apex tiers, so it might take a little bit to get right. In the works are optimizations for queue times, off-roll and secondary role parity, blue and red side placement, and also auto-fill jungle versus on-roll jungle, which I think is a big one. I'm actually pretty surprised it took so long for them to address that. All of this sounds like stuff that the game definitely needs, and Froxon again proves his value to the community with his transparency. We can also expect to hear more on Monday in his detailed thoughts tweets that he makes often. To all this, however, I need to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. And lastly today, Tyler1 has suffered the Dad Debuff. Reaching mid-challenger around a month ago, he unfortunately had a 800 LP decline into the middle of Diamond 1, as you can see on your screen. Though he had a couple of pretty bad loss streaks, he seems to have found his feet again and is currently reclimbing through Master Tier. One other thing though, it's been pretty heartwarming to see his development arc as a dad, coming from his Draven main toxicity arc. Here's what he had to say about his daughter Sailor when asked in the Esports World Cup booth, and with this clip, I'll leave you. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in another League news video soon. Bye.
Listen, congratulations on the chance. Congratulations on becoming a father.
Thank you, bro.
How much has this changed your life?
You know, I look back at it and I'm like, wow, I've changed so much in the last 3 months. She brings such a joy to my heart. Like
I can see the smile in
man,
your
it's
face.
every single day. Like every single day she grows. Like she does something different. Even when I'm away here, she's like doing something different. Kayla's sending me, snaps and pictures of her. I mean, it's amazing, man.